Joe's brisket. We're getting ready to put it in a few hours. We're going to put it in the smoker. It's going to be quite yummy. Can't wait. It smells so good, y'all.
Dry rub.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. This morning, or today, Joe is smoking us a brisket. So he's going to let you know how that goes.
So this, and I've been up since about 3:30, so I'm like, in case I'm not making sense, but this brisket's been on here for about 3 hours or so, maybe a little bit longer. We have a nice, mature fire in the firebox. I'm keeping my temperature above 200, don't want to exceed 250, and got some good some good oak and some good applewood soaking, and then that's going to help me keep my smoke all day. But I'll be honest with you, I have not looked at this since I put it in, because you don't want to open your smoker hardly at all. And I know I have plenty of time, so we're going to be opening this for the first time together this morning. Oh, well, it looks like it's doing good. We've got the pans of water, which start with hot water. They come to temperature a lot quicker. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the rub, because everybody kind of does their own thing. I use the typical blend of herbs and spices, but in my quantities, and tweak it a little bit. And some people just use kosher salt and fresh cracked black pepper. But this actually, I dry rubbed it last night, and you got to make sure the meat's all dry. And I dry rubbed it last night, and it's been sitting in the cooler outside. So this should be pretty tasty. This is fat side down. This is a USDA prime piece of meat, so I trimmed it a little bit, but for the most part, this is the way I purchased it. I start with fat down, and then I flip it over. There's some debate as to whether or not you should put it fat down, where the fat's going to drip over. But I like flipping it every few hours, and yeah, it feels good. And I'm going to keep, since the smoke and the heat comes out this side, I keep the fat part there most of the time. I don't want to dry out my...
It's not hot, Joey?
It is hot, but I am pretty used to the heat. So anyway, so there you go. It looks good. We're going to do another 3 hours, and I'm going to let some of that fat wrap around, and should be good. We'll keep checking on it. I'll put my thermometer in here, because you got to have a good meat thermometer, and you want to get to 165 in the middle. It's about an hour and 15 minutes for every pound that you should allot the time for at that 200 to 250 range. So we're looking good.
Are we adding a little more charcoal to the grill?
So I've kept that fire going, and we've worked through what they call the stall. You're going to feel sometimes like you've been sitting there all day watching this grill, just like you are right now, and that temperature is going to get stuck at probably around 150, somewhere around in there, and it's not going to move, and that's called the stall. It's going to stay like that for a long time. We're just about out of the stall. We're going to get to about 165, and we're going to go ahead and wrap that baby up. But I do want to look at, we threw some chicken legs on there a while ago. We had some extra chicken legs. I threw them on there. I haven't seen them yet, but let's see what they look like. Oh yeah, they're coming along nicely. So that's looking good right there. Let me flip those bad boys. Oh yeah, look at that. Smoked chicken leg. We did the same thing with them. Used the same dry rub. Same dry rub. All right, that's looking good. This is nice and moist. Still got water in the pans. So we're going to wait a couple more degrees, and then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to wrap it and put it back in. Okay, so we're right at about 165, maybe a couple of degrees below. And what we're going to do is we're going to take out our probe, we are going to transfer this piece of meat, fat side up, to aluminum foil, and we're going to wrap it tightly for the next step. Actually, I was hoping my uncoated butcher wrap would have shown up by now. I would prefer to use that over aluminum foil, but it really doesn't matter. It's just got to be tightly sealed. So let's see how. Well, that's kind of heavy. Let me grab a spatula real quick, because it's hot now. Ooh, that's still got a lot of weight to it, but it is coming apart, cracking up nicely. So we'll do that.
Oh, look at that meat. That's so pretty.
All right, now this part, I like to go ahead, before I wrap it up tight, I go ahead and put a little beer on there. And that alcohol, as well as the salt, will go ahead and help break down those proteins, and it's good to drink. Ah, so refreshing after standing next to a hot grill. Now, I'm using a little bit of commercial apple cider. It's a hard cider, vinegar-based barbecue sauce. And I'm going to put just a little bit of that on there too. And that apple cider vinegar will help break down some of those proteins. This should be really tender. All right, now I'm going to wrap it tightly. Bad boy, nice and tight, but you don't want it to get any holes. You want the juices to stay in there, so you want to be careful. Don't be batting at it with pointy objects, and don't have it on a real pointy surface. All right, that's going back on the grill now. All right. Beautiful, look at that. Nice and tight, center of the grill. Fat side toward the heat source. Take the temperature probe, find a nice center spot, stick it in there. We should be coming up, let's see. All right, we're at 165. That's why my alarm's going off, but I have a thermometer that actually hooks up to my phone, so I'll reset that and put the new setting on it, and we're just going to let it sit for a little while, and might add a little water to my pans, but other than that, we're going to let it sit till it gets to about 205, around 200, 205. Then we'll take you to the next step. All right, long day. I'm finally at 201. Now this is really important, probably the most important part. You know, we smoked, we wrapped. Now we hit our temperature, and now we have to take this off. Oh yeah, that is heavy, heavy.
That's the grandbaby in the background. He's been visiting. Hey, Silas. Meatball Joe's getting the meat off the grill.
There we go. We'll let that sit in a cooler for at least an hour, maybe 2. It's got to sit in a cooler and draw back all those juices. The worst thing you can do is open it up right now, slice it, and serve it. You'd end up with dried, after all those juices bleed out, you're going to end up with nothing but a dry piece of jerky. So this is going to be really good, but it's got to sit in a cooler undisturbed for at least an hour. All right, it's been in the cooler for an hour. I'd like to, everybody's hungry, right? I'd leave it in there even longer. I'd like to go 2 hours.
It's nighttime.
Let's
And
see
it's
what
the
we
big
look like here.
reveal. Woo! Let's see.
Oh yeah, still a lot of juice.
Oh boy. You're gonna cut that so we can see what it looks like?
Yeah.
Alright.
I'll put it on the Alright, let's see what this bad boy looks like inside. Slicing pretty nicely.
Ooh, look at that.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Alright. I'm gonna put half of that back in the juices and wrap it up and let it sit there even longer.
Alright. We're good to go.